Broadcast First, sponsored by Matex Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
Well, a steady rain falling across some parts of central Illinois, right into Champaign County, actually some of the heaviest, stretching back into Piatt County from Cisco to Monticello along I-72, and then right into Champaign, down to Tolono to Savoy, seeing that rain slowly move from south to north. So places like Fisher, Rantoul, Farmer City, you're going to get in on some of this rain before too long. We show you the wide view, the actual area of low pressure, what is left of Barry, still down into parts of Missouri. It's also a little breezy. Look at our winds right now, gusting 38 miles an hour in Springfield right now. It is quite a bit cooler with the clouds and rain around, 75 in Champaign. So expect these light rain showers to continue as we go throughout tonight. The heat returns late this week. You won't believe the numbers. We'll show them to you coming up. WCIA 3 News starts right now.
On WCIA 3 News.
The jury in the Brent Christensen trial heard more testimony on why his life should be spared, including from his own mother. Her emotional plea next.
The devastation, everything that they did was just, it was traumatizing.
An American Legion broken into and left a mess. Why what was taken is going to hurt the veterans they help.
I think to myself privately, I hope that this family has as much joy with their adoption as I've had with mine.
The walls of her office are covered with the smiling faces of the children she's helped. How her own past is paving the way for thousands of families.
You're watching your local news leader. This is WCIA 3 News at 6.
Brent Christensen's mother made an emotional plea to save her son's life today, saying a death penalty would devastate her. Good evening, I'm Paul Cicchini.
And I'm Jennifer Roscoe. Christensen's mother testified today along with his sister, stepfather, and Livingston County correctional officers. Christensen kidnapped and killed U of I scholar Ying Zhang 2 years ago. A jury is deciding whether or not to give him the death penalty or life in prison. Today was day 6 in the sentencing phase of his trial. WCIA 3's Courtney Bunting live in Peoria at the federal courthouse where the defense just rested their case. Courtney, a lot of his family members also struggled with addiction.
Yeah, Jennifer, we heard that when hearing from his sister as well as his mother. His mother, Ellen Williams, mentioned her own past with alcohol addiction. She also mentioned one time when Christensen was about 15 years old that she believes he tried to commit suicide. Now, Williams was also questioned about a conversation she had with Christensen while he was in prison when he told her he didn't kill Zhang. The defense asked how she feels now, knowing he lied to her. She said she still loves him unconditionally. Now, Christensen's sister, Andrea Christensen, said the two had grown apart recently, but she said she remembered her mother's alcoholism making her sleep a lot while they were growing up. Now on to Livingston County officers who testified. They talked about Christensen's behavior under their supervision. They said he was quiet and behaved, but didn't sleep much at night. One corrections officer, Nicholas Melvin, said he and Christensen talked about reading the book Goosebumps. You could see Christensen smiling when the book was brought up, but in cross-examination, the prosecution asked Melvin if he knew Christensen was also reading books about demonology and the occult while in prison, and Melvin said no. Now, tomorrow, the prosecution is expected to start their rebuttal, and we're expected to hear from at least 3 expert witnesses, one of those being FBI Special Agent Andrew Hugstadt. And we'll expect to wrap things up on Wednesday, depending on how long the jury takes to deliberate. Reporting live in Peoria, Courtney Bunting, WCIA 3, your local news leader.
Courtney, thank you so much for that update. Thousands of dollars were stolen from an organization that gives back to those who have served our country.
Yeah, the American Legion in Catlin was burglarized overnight on Sunday. Now they're working with investigators to find out who's responsible. WCIA 3's Jamie Mays is live in the newsroom tonight. Jamie, you spoke with volunteers. How bad was the damage?
Paul, people who worked there said when they got to the building, they saw windows broken, and once they walked inside, the place had been trashed. They were able to clean up most of the damage, but they're still upset that it happened.
Somebody broke into our Catlin American Legion, stole quite a bit of money from us.
Shattered glass, drawers destroyed, and cabinets emptied.
Every little thing that was in these cabinets were thrown on the ground.
They say the person who did it cost at least $3,000 in damages.
This window busted out, glass all over, inside and out. This entire kitchen was totally destroyed. Every cabinet open, everything taken out.
The devastation, everything that they did was just, it was traumatizing.
About $1,000 in cash was snatched out of their registers, money volunteers plan to pay bills with and hold events for veterans.
My first thought was instant mad. How could somebody do that to an American Legion? That was my first thought. And then my second thought, after I slowed down a little bit, somebody, I'm sure, with a sickness.
Well, it's upsetting to think that someone will come into such a place of honor that our veterans need as a place to come. They fellowship here, they commune here.
And it wasn't just them. The restaurant across the street was broken into as well. The Vermilion County Sheriff's Department and Catlin Police are investigating. The American Legion has closed their doors for now, but this week they'll be open again, serving burgers for veterans and the community.
We weren't going to open, but we decided we're not going to let this get us down. We're going to stand still and we're going to hold our ground.
The damages are covered by insurance, but they won't get back what was stolen from their registers. They're hoping to raise that money soon. Live in the newsroom, Jamie Mays, WCIA 3, your local news leader. And
hopefully they do. Jamie, thanks. Now the Legion will be open from 5 to 8 on Thursday. They're selling cheeseburgers. Volunteers hope the community will show up and show its support. Man's in custody after police got a tip he had a gun. This happened near State Street and University Avenue in Champaign. Police say the gun was concealed and the man was not threatening anyone. He was taken into custody while they checked to see if he's a registered and licensed gun owner.
Danville police are investigating 2 separate shootings. The first happened early Saturday. A 47-year-old man was shot in the shoulder. He told police he was at a party when he got into a fight with another man. Then he was shot. The victim wouldn't say where the party was, and he couldn't provide a suspect description. A second shooting happened early Sunday morning near North Beard and East Seminary Streets. A 28-year-old man was shot in the leg. He told police he was standing outside of a home with a friend when someone started shooting. That friend showed up at the hospital with a gunshot to the stomach. They told police they saw a white car drive by the house just before the shooting. Both men are expected to be okay. A couple in Springfield got a rude awakening Sunday morning when a car drove into their home.
The crash happened near East Pine and South 14th Streets in Springfield, and now officers are looking for the person who's responsible. WCIA 3's Gabrielle Franklin joins us live from Springfield. So, Gabrielle, the homeowner says he actually saw the person who police say is responsible.
That's right, Paul. Michael Henley was sound asleep when he heard the crash happening just behind me here in Springfield. Now, he says he heard a thud, and that's when he came outside to check on things, and then the driver just took off running. Henley says around 3 a.m. Sunday morning, he and his wife heard a boom. He then ran outside. He saw a car inside his house. Henley says he was shocked about the crash, but to make matters worse, when he went to check on who he believes was behind the wheel, he says that she tried to start the car, and then she ran away when she saw him coming her way. He says the crash is a big inconvenience now for him and his family.
But I thank God that we are alive, for everything, that person is alive, no matter where she is. Hopefully she come clean and come, you know, just give herself up or anything, or just say, hey, I'm sorry. Or I just hoping that things turn out right for both of us.
Now, Henley says authorities have advised his family not to go back in the home until after it's been inspected. And in the meantime, they are staying at a hotel as long as they can. Now, of course, if you know anything about what happened here, you're asked to call the police. And Henley says he and his family will need some assistance recovering from what happened here. Paul?
Yeah, that's rough to basically be knocked out of your home for who knows how long. Hopefully they get that inspector in soon and everything's all cleared. Gabrielle, thanks.
He is the second-ranked basketball player in the state. So is Adam Miller still considering a future with the Illini? You're going to find out.
Also tonight.
I told my husband that I wanted to adopt when I graduated from law school.
And that's exactly what she did, how her own adoptions have shaped her career in law and gotten her some national recognition.
Well, below average temperatures for the most part today, but some areas did make it to the 80s, mid-80s for highs here in Champaign. We actually did, but some areas closer to like Effingham and I-70, those clouds and rain showers moved in earlier, and well, they didn't warm up as much. We're now sitting at 75 as we look at the Roofing Doug Inett, Bratcher weather camera tonight. Coming back, the latest on how Barry has arrived, rainfall amounts, and how dangerous heat really cranks later this week. Coming up.